places, bright and early for their daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere.
This is another episode of Full Disclosure from InfinityExist.com. I'm Knox, this is Patch, and today we're going to show you how to set up a secure shell or SSH server. We're going to show you how to tunnel into that server. We're going to show you how to use it to secure your data and get around network filters.
Alright, SSH is a network protocol that encrypts data and allows you to send that data over a secure channel between two computers. It uses a public key cryptography to authenticate the remote computer. And now we're going to show you how to set up those servers on Windows and Linux.
Yep.
Alright, first we're going to show you how to set up the SSH server on Linux. We're using Backtrack 2, and it has Open SSH Server installed on it by default. All you have to do is go to Services, SSH, Set Up and Start SSHD. This will automatically set it up and create the private and public keys. These keys and usernames will be based off of your local username and passwords. It's going to display your local NATed IP address, but that's not the one you're going to use to connect to your SSH tunnel from a remote computer. To find out what your external IP address is, we're going to use the website ipaddress.com. Address only has one D in it. You just scroll down a little bit and it'll show you your IP address and along with a whole bunch of other information. Just write that down and you can use it. We'll use it later when we're on the client side. Also, you may want to configure your SSH server. You just go to etc-sh, that's the directory for OpenSSH, and you just edit the sshd_config, which you use the cat command to display with the contents. As you see, there's a lot of different settings you can change and mess around with. The default port is 22. You may want to change that for some reason. Yep. And that's it for the Linux. Let's go to Windows. Alright, we're on the Windows computer now, and it's a little bit different. You're going to have to download the Open SSH server for Windows and go through this installer. Click next, whatever. The default directory is program files, Open SSH. And it lets you know that you have to create a password file, or else you won't be able to connect. So to do that, you're going to go to the command prompt, go to Program Files -Open SSH, go to the bin directory, and they provide you with two commands, mkgroup and mkpassword. Basically, what they do with the -L argument, they will output mkgroup will output your local users, and mkpassword will output your local passwords. Basically, what you want to do is you want to dump the output of both those programs into etc group and etc password. That'll make your password to log into the SSH server your username and your password on your local machine. Also, you can config the SSH server the same way by going to etc/sshd_config. After you get done setting up the server, you want to start the service by typing in net start open SSH server. And as you can see with the netstat command, it's running on port 22. the default port. Alright, and that's it for the Windows server.
Alright, first we're going to show you how to connect to the server from Linux. What we're going to do, just to confirm when we're done that we're connected through our SSH tunnel, we're going to see what our current IP address is. Just go to ipaddress.com. And just take note of that so you can compare later. Alright, first we're going to open up our shell and we're going to type the command SSH-D, the port that you want to connect to the server with, the username, at the server IP address. Now that port that you're using is also going to be the internal port that you connect to through your web browser. Alright, now what we need to do is we need to configure our web browser to go through that tunnel we just created. So what we need to do is go to Edit Preferences, go over to Advanced, Network, Settings, and then we're going to go to Manual Proxy Configuration. And for this we're going to be using the SSH protocol. Alright, what we're going to put in our port that we use, 6969, and we're leaving it as localhost because you're connecting to that local tunnel that you've created, which then goes to the SSH server. And now just to verify that we are actually connecting through that tunnel, you see that our IP address has changed to the IP address of that server. And now you can go ahead and surf the internet securely. Now that's it for our Linux. Now we're going to show you how to connect through Windows. Alright, again, we're going to use ipaddress.com to verify at the end that we've actually made that connection to the server. Just take note of your current IP address. Alright, for this what we're going to use a nice little program called Putty. It's a Telnet and SSH client. And first what you want to do is in the session under the host name you want to put in the IP address of your SSH server. And then you want to go down to the SSH tab and tunnels, and you're going to want to put in the port that you want to connect to that server with. And then you want to choose dynamic and go ahead and add that and open up your connection. You want to log in as the username and password that you have set up on your server. And again, you see that we've made that connection. Alright, now that we've made that connection, we need to set up our web browser to take advantage of the tunnel we've created. Again, go to Advanced, Connection Settings, Manual Proxy Configuration, change the SOCKS host. We have localhost under the 6969 port. Hit OK, OK. And now we're going to refresh this page. And it's going to show that we have made that secure connection through our tunnel. And again, our IP address has changed. Alright, now that we've showed you how to set up that secure tunnel between your client and the server, we're going to show you how to take advantage of that. Not only does this allow you to secure your web data, but it's also going to allow you to bypass just about any web filter out there that's on that network. So like for instance, like game filters maybe that your university blocks. What we've done here is we've set up World of Warcraft, we've blocked the ports on our router, and we're going to show you how to get around that using our secure SSH tunnel.
Alright, first off we're going to show that World of Warcraft is blocked on this network. Just going to try to log in here. And as you can see, we were unable to make a connection with the servers. So you're going to need a few things to bypass this filter. You're going to need Putty and Proxifyer. Basically, you set up a tunnel with Putty the same way you did before. Log into the SSH server. And now we're going to configure Proxifyer just like we configured our web browser before. You go to Options, Proxy Settings, and you're going to add localhost or 127.0.0.1, internal port 6969, and the SOX version 5. Push OK, and now every program that you access the internet with is going to go through Proxifyer and in turn go through the SSH server. So now we can open up World of Warcraft and log in and be able to connect to the server just fine. There you go. It's easy as that to bypass filters on web. Like I said, you can use any program with Proxifyer to bypass filters. I'm just going to show you here. I'm going to set the proxy settings back to the direct connection to the internet on the Firefox. And as you can see, Firefox shows up in the Proxifyer. And once again, Firefox is going through that tunnel to the SSH server.
Well, that's it for this episode on SSH tunneling. If you have any questions, of course, on this episode or any other episode, you can hit up our forums. I'm Knox, and this is Patch. You guys have a good one.